So one of the issues I've been talking about for a very long time when it comes to AI is design. First things first, that it doesn't create good designs, but since Gemini 3 and Opus 4.5, that's kind of changed and it is creating insane designs. However, there's still an issue that you don't get with platforms like, let's say, Webflow and Framer, and that is fine tuning. So let's say I just want to kind of play around with this badge up here and see if it looks better with like 10 pixels border radius, 40 pixels border radius, or 0. I kind of have to just like waste tokens telling AI to go ahead and do it, or I can edit the code, but again, there's a lot of non-technical people who just, don't want to do that, can't do that, whatever the reason may be. So when Cursor said that they released this visual editor, I got very excited. What I want to answer is this the thing that is going to make it so people who are used to platforms like Webflow and Framer are going to get more into vibe coding? Does this replace that fine tuning that you get from a platform like Webflow? We're going to find out in this video. No, this is not a tutorial. You are basically experiencing this along with me. So anything weird that happens, anything strange, you're going to get to see all of it. And you're going to get an unfiltered view of what it looks like to actually use this. And at the end, you're going to get my opinion on whether or not this has the same ability and workflow as refining in a platform like Webflow, which I have used for so long. So first things first, I can go ahead and click around, which is awesome. So up here, we can see this badge. And let's say I want to kind of play around with the border radius. Let's go ahead and do that. Just drag it and see what happens. Okay, so it does indeed seem to be updating. Weirdly enough, it doesn't seem to happen instantly. Like you just saw I changed this to 66 pixels and it's not 66 pixels. It does update, it just takes a while, and there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason as to why. So that's an immediate issue. Like, the thing that I love about this so much, the idea of this and what I love about doing this in Webflow, is that I can immediately get visual feedback on whether or not this looks good or bad. So, weird issue there with the delay. I'm not sure if that's a bug or what that might be. Along with that, what are these? Unparse. Okay, so that is a little bit strange. Now I'm seeing things like dimensions, like width 792, height 79. This is like giving me, Figma vibes, where let's say an inexperienced Webflow developer is going to look at this and like set the hero to like 792 pixels width. It's just 792 pixels width because it is. So I don't know where it gets this from, and that's something that I'm definitely not a fan of right off the bat. What about layouts? Let's say, for example, I want to make this like flex or something like that. Yeah, okay, so that one updated instantly, which I'm very happy about. So I can play around with the layout. That is excellent. Something I'm interested in is, what am I actually editing? So when I'm using a platform like Webflow, for example, I can see exactly, hey, you're editing this class right here. However, most of these projects, that are using Tailwind or any other sort of like utility class heavy framework, they don't do that. Instead of having like, nav button class, you would just have like button, corner radius large, blah, blah, blah. And so when I edit this, what am I actually editing? So I can see the CSS in here. Like, what am I editing? Is it going to swap the class on it? Is it going to change my utility class? So like, up here, if I go ahead and adjust, let's say, the corner radius on this button. Okay, this one happened instantly, so I'm happy about that. Let's go ahead and just set it to like 70. That's what I want to know. What is this affecting? We can see here that this button was not affected, which is a little bit strange. Okay, I'm having issues clicking this because the animation on it. Same thing on here. Let's say I want to increase the corner radius to like 30. Okay, that one went well, so I can see that. These, I would love to increase the corner radius on to, let's say, 25. But take a look at this. It affected this one, but not this one. So is that what you're supposed to do? Just go like one by one, affect everything, and then it will kind of go, oh, okay, we should just swap out this class for this other class. Maybe that's what it does. What I hope it isn't doing is just arbitrarily applying like 30 pixels to whatever class this is, or like forcing it with an important rule. That would be weird. Because yeah, you can see these are like cards, for example, right? So let's say I want to increase this corner radius up here. It's only affecting this one. So like, what would happen right now if, let's say, I adjusted, I didn't even do the same one, so I should probably do that. Whoa, all right, yeah, let's not do 350, let's just do like 50 pixels on here. Let's do 50 pixels on here. I wonder, maybe it's going to like ask me, like, do you only want it to affect these ones, or what do you want? Let's do the same thing over here. I'm playing around a lot with corner radius because I don't want to change this page too much. I do like it. It's getting faster. Like that issue that we had at the start doesn't seem to be happening, but still it's a little bit strange. And really my biggest issue is just I don't understand what I'm actually editing. Like, this might be fine for, you know, one individual page, but like if I'm trying to change my entire design system, how would I do that? Let's go ahead and let's click apply now, and let's see what actually happens. And along with that, I'm going to go in a normal browser and just pop open localhost up here and see, like, okay, so I'm looking right now, and you can see in here, it doesn't seem to have applied yet. So I wonder when it's going to do that. It looks like the agent is doing something. So let's just let this agent cook for a little while and see what's going on. I also wonder how much this is affected by the actual model that you're using, if at all. Maybe it just has its own model specifically for this fine tuning. I'm really not quite sure. Okay, so applying the CSS changes, creating a to-do list to track them. Okay, so it's literally just applying this like rounded class to the actual element. It's not... I would like if it asked me like, hey, do you want to do this everywhere that there's a button? You know, that kind of thing. That would be wonderful. Also might be a little bit cumbersome, to be fair. It really does just seem like that's what it's doing. Just applying these like classes almost directly to the specific element. Okay, so now it seems to have updated. So if I go over here and I take a look at what's going on in this page, okay, so this one, it seems to have realized and affected all of them, which is good. That's what I wanted it to do when I did only these two. It affected all of these ones. Okay, so it seems to be a little bit context aware, but like, look, when I did this button up here, it didn't do this button. I guess you can kind of show it based on the pattern. So if I did this one as well, maybe it would have actually affected all of them and gone like, hey, this guy wants all of his buttons to be this color. So I'm going to go ahead and try to do a couple more edits, like this over here. Let's say I increase this corner radius. Let's say I want these to be like pill shaped. 50. Let's do 50 on two of them, and let's try to understand if that's kind of what it bases it off, is just, are you doing it to multiple? If so, I'm going to apply it everywhere. And then let's go down here and make these buttons as well pill shaped by adding 50 corner radius. This does feel very nice. I mean, hey, this is a vibe coded project, and I feel like I'm in Webflow. That I love. Cursor, I love what you guys are doing. How much am I going to recommend this? Well, we'll see about that in just a minute. Okay, so we did those changes. Now I can go ahead and click on apply. What's interesting to me is it's showing 39 edits. So I did a lot of edits, right? But like, I did them, I applied them, now I did more. So it's taking all of them again. That is interesting to me, where this says apply. And then if I click undo on that, is it going to revert everything? Why is there like an arrow button and then a undo? I would assume that this revert last change, that is undo. What's the difference? I don't know. We'll see if we can find that out in a minute once this gets done. So applying the CSS changes, I wonder if, once again, it's going to do the exact same thing. Okay, see, this, again, figured out, like, hey, we got around all of these because that's what this guy wants. So that is good. And I wonder if, let's say we had these on different pages, it would have gone and done that as well. That's what I would love to see some visibility into. Because again, when you're using something like Webflow, you can see, let's say you have this card and there's a bunch of them. It would be like 40 on this page, 800 on other pages. And you'd immediately know, like, you know, maybe you have another class somewhere else. That's all well and good. But like, you'd immediately know, am I just affecting this page or am I affecting like the entire site? And I have no visibility into that right now. It says all changes have been applied. No errors. Okay, wonderful. Button. See, yeah, it's just changing like button by button. So now if I look up here, see, this button is still... So I would love to be able to do that tweaking and be like, all my buttons. How would that work from a technical standpoint? I don't know. I don't work at Cursor. But from a user standpoint, that is what I would love to be able to do. Just because right now it feels very unpredictable. Like I said, what is this editing? When I edit this, what else is it going to edit? And now let's go ahead and see this whole undo nonsense. So if I click on revert the change, it's going like, okay, one by one. What if I click undo? See, it kept all of the chain. I went back to this where I have my weird layout. Okay, how would I go about undoing this? That's the question. Discard all changes up until this checkpoint. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Yeah, I don't love this. I don't love this. I can tell you that right now from here, what I'm going to tell it to do. I don't want to affect this. I'm just going to say like revert to my last push to GitHub, and hopefully it's going to do that because these changes just were not good. Okay, here's my take on this. Good. I actually did a video recently with Alex Christou, if anyone has seen that video, where we tried out like all sorts of vibe coding tools, and we tried Builder.io, and it had a very similar thing to this. And I actually do think that it is really, really smart, like the approach, because like I said, I don't want it to just force override classes. I don't want it to be like, hey, you're changing the corner radius small class and making it 800 pixels border radius. I don't want that. So this is a good general like idea that they're going with. But first of all, it is slow. Like it doesn't actually show me what I'm editing right away, which is super weird. So I don't like that. Second of all, I have no, like this would be cool, I guess, for like one individual landing page. But if I'm working on a larger project and I actually want to say like edit all of the buttons across the whole site, then I don't know what the workflow for that would be. Perhaps I would do it and then I would tell the agent, hey, can you apply this to all of the buttons on the site? Then in that case, what if it just adds that weird like kind of like corners 50 pixels class to it? And I don't want that, so perhaps we're being too opinionated. I really don't know. To be honest with you, am I going to use this in all reality? Not right now. Also, because I literally don't know how to undo it. Like if I refresh this. Okay, there we go. So I successfully undid it by just reverting to my last push to GitHub. Wonderful. Okay, but yeah, it's a great start. I do think people should try this, especially if you're someone who's used to using a tool like Webflow, but it's not there yet. This isn't that aha moment when it comes to AI refining that I was kind of hoping this would be. This came out a few days ago and I've been sleeping on it. And I guess there's nothing wrong with that because it's really not that. Like what I would love is if I just edited this button and it's like, wait, do you only, let's say it came back with like questions. It's like, do you only want this button to be rounded or do you want all the buttons to be rounded? All the buttons. All the buttons or just the purple buttons? Just the purple buttons. You know what I'm saying? That is the kind of thing that I would be hoping for. And one thing I can tell you about the cursor team from this bubble that pops up in the bottom left every time I open cursor, telling me to update, they ship fast. They ship fast. So this right here is probably just the start of what I assume they would, better than anyone else on earth, have the capabilities to do. But I don't think it's there yet. So play around with it, but I wouldn't really like go ahead and tell you this is crazy and this is life-changing yet. It's just a cool start, similar to the stuff I've been saying with AppGen. It's like Webflow AppGen, if you don't know what I'm talking about. It is promising, it's cool, and they're on the right track. It's just not there yet. So anyways, to the cursor team, I love what you guys are doing with this. Do it a little bit better and you might have me back. I recently re-enabled my cursor subscription and then canceled it shortly after because I just love Claude Code that much and I don't need a paid cursor account. But if this ended up actually being what I think it should be, then you might see me back on cursor soon. So anyways, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed literally going through this with me as I did for the first time. I hope this helped you. Let me know if maybe I was using this wrong and you know of a better way to do it so that you can get more predictable and accurate results every time. And yeah, that's it. So follow if you like AI content. I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.